Okay. So, hi everybody, I am Pravin Patwari, and I have been in this actuarial science profession for the last 10 years. I'll just walk you through my journey of how I accidentally bumped into actuarial sciences. So, I was in college first year, and as you all know, I was first of all not very much aware about uh, this course of actuarial science. So I started with chartered accountancy. I cleared two levels of CA, and when you have basically time frame, so in your inter and your CA final, you have close to 3 years of time in which you prepare for CA finals. Parallelly, you do any kind of other professional course which you want to do, and you also do your induction. So I just wanted to give it a try. And can we just keep the meet, Krisha, open for all? Actually, it's giving me constant notifications. So there are multiple people, those who want to join this webinar, so that I don't get that notification. Just give me a moment. Okay. So yeah. So basically, when you have time between your CA inter and your CA finals, and that was the time I started my journey in actuarial sciences. So I'll start by breaking few myths about this program. And now I'm associate. Actually, I've cleared 14 out of 15 levels, and I'm also qualified financial risk management, and I'm also a chartered accountant. So, the first myth which students have related to actuarial sciences is it is only about mathematics, which is not true. So, actuaries deal with risk. Wherever there is money and there is some kind of risk associated with that money, we actuaries, we basically are present there. And we don't not only work in the risk side, we can also work in the finance side. And though there are mathematics and statistics, but it's not that in all the 13 levels, or if you're doing from the US SOA, there is a lot of maths and stats in all the levels. It's not that. It's a good blend of economics, finance, banking, risk management, stock markets. You get to know about risk modeling, survival analysis. There are also papers like machine learning is there, R programming is there, Excel is there. And this course allows you to basically choose your specialization as well. So you can also select in which field you want to go, be it life, be it health, be it general, okay, be it investments, be it risk management. So there are various fields from which you can pick up, right? So one more myth which student have is there is very high level of mathematics. The first myth was there is a lot of mathematics in all the levels, and the second myth that the students have is if I'm not basically having that much level of integration or maybe trigonometry, then I cannot pursue the course of actuarial science. It's not like that, because in this program, so if you talk about the UK body, which is the oldest one, so out of 13 levels, you have maths and stats in close to uh, four levels. So which is CS1, CS2, CM1, and CM2. So it's not that there is very high level of mathematics. All we do is real life case study based analysis. So whenever you are entering into the bank, so all the mathematics that is captured in the finance world or the banking world is captured in the CM1 paper. How to value a stock, and in today's world, so much of uncertainty is there, geopolitical tensions are there. So there actuaries play a very critical role. You also know about the Strait of Hormuz, right? The ships, they are not going through the Strait of Hormuz. It's all because of the insurance, right? Because there is no proper risk management in place, right? So one more myth is that actuaries only work in the they only work in the insurance companies. It's not true. Nowadays there are a lot of weather disturbances, so catastrophic modeling is there. We also work in the asset liability management side. Some of the famous actuaries are hedge fund founders, right? So many of us have a dream to go into maybe JP Morgan or maybe Morgan Stanley or maybe work in management consulting. So all these fields actuaries work into, because traditionally we only used to work in the insurance companies, but now we work in insurance, banking, consulting, risk management, hedge funds. So basically, We all know about Warren Buffett, right? What is Berkshire Hathaway? It's an insurance company. And basically, Warren Buffett was struggling a lot in his early career, but then he acquired Berkshire Hathaway. And now also he understands the concept of float, which the insurance companies have. And he basically uses that money to invest in the stock markets and basically make lots of money. So, genuine businesses, those who make lot of money are boring. So we are actually very intrigued that we need to do one ekka double or something like that, but it does not happen like that. So there is proper risk management. You take managed bets in life, and it's not just a course, it's basically a life skill. So everywhere you go, be it any kind of meeting or in all the spheres, you will always um, be be applying the concepts of actuarial science, right? So one more myth which the students have is the actuarial science is a very lengthy program and it's impossible to clear all the exams. It's not like that. The passing percentage is close to 40 to 50% for every paper. Exams happen twice a year from US body. The initial two exams like P and FM, they happen 6 times a year. So basically it's not like that you cannot clear these exams. There is a good passing percentage and it takes close to 300 to 400 hours of preparation for the initial 4 to 5 exams, which are a bit challenging. It's not, I'll not say challenging because that is the pillar of the course, but there are easier exams as well, like CB1 is there, CB2 is there, there is CP2, CP3. So it takes on an average 5 to 6 years of time to become a qualified actuary. Okay. So there are few more myths like you need to have a commerce background or you need to be have a very solid engineering background to do actuarial science. It's not like that because whenever you join the program, the training is there from the scratch, and you actually build your base in basics of maths, basics of stats, basics of insurance, basics of risk management, basics of derivatives, and then basically you dive into the program, right? So it's not that you need to have a commerce background or need to be from an eco math stats background. So it's not like that. We have seen students from maybe non-maths background, those who are more inclined towards this profession, they have completed this profession. We have seen students from engineering, MBA, students struggling to basically take a leap in their career. Currently, they are at a package of maybe 6 to 8 lakhs, but they're good in maths and they want to study something which is real life related. And you know what? In this program, you don't need to study whole day. So it's basically if you're studying 2 hours every day for 4 months, which is 120 days, then you clear that exam. And everything that you study is also applicable in the practical field as well, right? So one more myth about this program is becoming an actuary. It takes 10 plus years. It's not like that. So on an average, it takes close to 6 years of time to basically become a qualified actuary. So nowadays, our students, they're becoming actuaries in 4.5 years of time, 4 years of time, 5 years of time, because there is very structured training approach. And also you get a lot of abundant resources for higher level exams. There was a time when people used to take 8 years, 10 years, but today is not like that. And also it also depends from which institute you're pursuing. So the most famous institutes are the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries UK and the Society of Actuaries US. Now the best thing about the US Society is that for the first four exams, the day on which you appear for the exam, you get the result. So basically that's the biggest uh, basically advantage when you're doing actuarial science from the US body. Okay. So one more myth is that actuaries don't work in the consulting sector. They only sit at computers and analyze numbers. It's not like that. So every field has having a very varied kind of a role, right? So it all depends where your skill set is. So a lot of consulting companies, GCCs have opened up their offices in India. So in currently India, there are more than 250 companies, those who are giving actual employment. Okay. There are core insurance companies, consulting companies, data analyst firms, trading, prop trading firms, hedge funds, consulting firms, individual sole proprietorship consulting firms. So basically, the market is opening up. So now, if you start your journey, then you can basically become an FSA or FIA in the next 5 years, and that degree is going to open up a lot of doors for you, not only at India level but at a global level as well. The global mobility, the unemployment rate that this course is having is basically much better. So basically, in terms of global mobility, it's much higher. In terms of unemployment, it's much lower when comparing it to other professional courses. Okay. So one more myth is that okay, it's a back end job and AI is going to replace actuaries. It's not like that, because there is a lot of human judgment involved in what work we do. We do analyze the numbers, and we also have a lot of experience sharing in the kind of work we do. So basically, all the mundane tasks will get replaced by AI, but not the analytical part, the judgment part, right? So since AI is coming, the world is evolving, geopolitics is evolving, risk is increasing, and when risk is increasing, there is panic moments, the demand for actuaries will increase. So that is why it is said that the next decade will be for actuaries. Actuarial science has limited career opportunities in India. It's not like that. I'm telling you very honestly. Currently, there are around 1200, 1300 qualified actuaries in India, both IEI, IFOA. So basically, if you see, there are close to 600, 700 actuaries from the Indian body, and there are close to 1000 or maybe 1200 around actuaries from the UK body. Though there are no official numbers like this, but you know what? India needs close to 20, 25,000 actuaries in the next 10 to 15 years. So there is a huge demand and supply gap. So you might find some of your friends, those who are finding a bit difficult to crack the job, because it's the skill set part. So nowadays the companies see what value you can add when they're taking you in an organization, how you can basically give value to the company. So if you don't know the adequate technical skills, you don't know how to communicate, you're not presentable, then the company might reject you. So basically, there are a lot of job openings, and in terms of global mobility, if you have dreams to work maybe in the US, in the UK, in the Asia Pacific, like Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, then actuaries is always having a better scope compared to other professional courses. So, clearing exams is enough to become a successful actuary. This is a myth, because you know what? Along with clearing actuaries exams, you need to have the right skill set. Like you need to have R programming, machine learning, Excel, Python, VBA, CQL. You need to basically constantly evolve yourself, because the world is changing every 5 years. So on an average, you work for 30 to 40 years in your lifetime, and you need to prepare for the world, right? So you need to keep updating yourself, and you need to keep tweaking your pathway. Like okay, this is the next trend, I need to basically learn what all is needed. So it's not something once you clear all the exams it's done. So it's not like that. The learning never stops, right? And more importantly, you need to have the business sense. So there is a paper like CB3. You need to have the communication sense. You should be able to communicate this niche set of knowledge to the non-actual audience as well, right? You need to be very good at modeling Excel, right? You need to have a good understanding of the numbers. So these are basically some myths about the program. Okay, now I'll open the house for questions. I don't want to stretch a lot on this program. So now I'll open the house for questions, and if you all have any questions, just just shoot at me, and I'll be happy to answer all your queries, right? And you know what? What I've realized after I joined this field, I'll just share you a small incident. Your approach to how you do things, it actually changes when you earn this qualification. So I have done three different kinds of qualifications. The one is associate actuary, the other is your FRM, and one is CA. So when once I did this course, my mind becomes sharp. You know how to think well, and that is the thing out of your job that you apply in your personal life, right? So definitely there are much more emerging fields coming up in the future where actuaries will be employed. The government will start taking actuaries. And you know what? The Prime Minister is also having a vision insurance for all by 2047. So basically, that vision is very important, and for that we need more and more qualified actuaries. Now, geo insurance is coming up, so that is again a very very good thing about this profession, right? So yeah, I'll open the house for questions, and then we can discuss more through Q&A. So you all can just raise your hand, ask me any query. Yeah, I'll open the house for questions. Any questions? Anyone having any kind of question or any kind of discussion, anything that you want to understand about the program? Also, this is the course where you get two kinds of increments when you enter into a job. So there is one is the annual increment and the other is the paper wise increment, right? So when you talk about the paper wise increment, so every paper which you clear is having an increment of 50,000 to 3 lakhs per annum, and there is no normal annual increment. So you start at 6 to 8 lakhs per annum, maybe 12 lakhs per annum, maybe 15 lakhs per annum. And by the time you are a fellow with 3 to 5 years of experience, your package will be close to 35 to 40 lakhs per annum. And if you move abroad, then definitely there is a good salary recognition status. But definitely that comes with how skilled you are. That is one of the most important things in when you're moving abroad. But apart from that, there are a lot of opportunities because the India is becoming the global hub for actuaries across the globe. They love our work and the kind of hard work that we put into our profession. The approx costing of the program is close to uh, like 3 lakhs. By the time you are a graduate, you need to spend close to 3 lakhs. And by the time you are a graduate, you can aim to clear 6 to 8 exams. And every day you need to study for 2 hours, right? So nowadays, if you see, the world is constantly evolving, as I mentioned. And I can take few examples like the weather changes is there, and the thought process actually is totally changed. There is a lot of AI going on, data science going on. So you actually, when you do this profession, you understand statistics really well, you understand the data really well, you know how to play with data and get useful information, you know how to do modeling, you know how to do cash flow modeling. So basically this course will open up doors for you. And like if you have this specific knowledge set, it will continue with you forever. So people with very humble backgrounds, they have reached basically the MD position, CRO position, CEO position. So it is a merit based program and not something on a money based program, because it's all basically dependent on how many papers you have cleared, what skill set you are having. So definitely anyone can do this profession and they can reach the top. So that's this is the one more good thing about this profession. Yeah, any questions which you all have related to the program? Someone is asking how long does it take to complete the course. It takes close to 5 years of time to complete the program. So it's not like you see in CFA also, in each level there are 10 subjects. In CA there is a grouping. So 13 papers looks very long, but it's not like that. If you're studying consistently for 2 hours every day for 5 years, then you're done with it. Uh, what's the most common industry for a fresher who has just completed actually? So you don't need to complete actuaries in total. You can clear approximately 6 papers. So there are a lot of industries like the banking companies, insurance companies, tech companies, prop trading firms, hedge fund companies. All these companies will basically hire you because you are a person good with numbers. You know, you have a good understanding about stock markets, insurance, risk management, banking, economics, finance. You know how to communicate well. You're good with modeling. You're good with Excel. You're good with tech. So basically, uh, that is how things are. And more importantly, currently the unemployment rate is also very low because if you see from a cohort of maybe 100 students or maybe 80 students, maybe 5 or 10 students, those who have not been able to crack the exams, or maybe they are stuck maybe with one paper, not able to clear the exams, not able to speak well during the interview. They only are struggling to find the jobs, because apart from that, all of the students, they have good number of papers and they are able to speak well, then definitely they convert the interview. Are companies in India prioritizing candidates who focus purely on clearing exams quickly, or do they prefer those who pace exams alongside gaining work experience? See, so this is a good question because by the time you are a graduate, you can clear around 6 to 8 exams. So 8 is a good number, and the rest of the 5 exams you can clear when you're having your job. So every 6 months you can give exam. So by the time you are a fellow, you have 3 years of work experience, and that is the minimum requirement by the institute. So both the things go hand in hand. You don't need to clear all the exams. So the lowest when the company takes you is with 0 papers, and the average which my students go is close to 6 to 8 exams. Is CA and actuarial science a good combination? Definitely, it's a very good combination because nowadays CA Institute is offering close to 4 to 5 exemptions to actuarial students. So if you're pursuing CA and doing actuaries from the Indian body, close to 4 exams you get exempt, so you need to give only 9, and that too the papers of finance becomes really easy for you. Me myself, a chartered accountant, I feel that if you're doing CA and actuarial science, both, it's a crazy combination because as you know nowadays IFRS 17 is coming up where they need chartered accountants as well as your actuaries. What is the scope of actuarial consulting? So what is happening is, they're removing people from the US, UK, maybe Canada, Australia, and they're setting up their firms in India because India is a place of cheap labor. So maybe the work that you're doing is worth crores, but they're only going to give you 35 to 40 lakhs. Definitely the best of the lot, they get opportunity to move abroad as well, but definitely there will always be a cost arbitrage. So India will not have basically basically the demand excess, what we say, supply excess, what we say. Definitely there will be a lot of job openings in the future, more and more. Like in Ahmedabad, you see there is a GCC setup, like the gift city setup, in which a lot of reinsurance companies have opened up their offices. Currently they are hiring higher level senior position people, and slowly they will basically evolve, and they will be opening for freshers, etc., right? So there will never be any situation in the next 10 to 15 years where you'll see that there is a supply excess in students, they're not getting jobs because more and more avenues actuaries will be required. uh, will actuaries only help one to get into the insurance field? It's not like that. uh, Being very honest, like previously 100% of the people, they were employed in the insurance sector, but now 40% of the people, they are employed, rest 60% they're working at consulting companies. I'll give you a very short example. Recently I visited Asian Actuarial Conference in Singapore. So you know what a health actuary does. So Singapore is having a lot of strict food regulations, right? So the Coca-Cola tastes different in Singapore, it will taste too different in India. So every label is having apt sugar content, like this thing contains this much of sugar, and that is how they're improving the mortality of the people in Singapore. So actuaries have a very crucial role there. So this is something which you will never think, oh, actuaries does this kind of work also. Yes, they do it. Yes, they do it. So they're working actively with the government, and they are basically helping the government how they can improve the mortality. So right, so this is how the insurance companies work closely with the government, and basically that is how a health actuary's role is evolving. So basically, you know what? India is the diabetes capital of India. India is the diabetes capital of the world. So every 1% or 2% in 3% they are obese and they're diabetic. So that is how the government and the actuaries, they will work closely, and in the same manner, India things will evolve in the coming time. So they will need actuaries because we are very good with numbers, we're very good with data, and more active employment is there. I mentioned about Warren Buffett. If you talk about casino, so basically when you play a roulette, there are 37 numbers from 0 to 36, but you get only 36 times what you bet. So 1 by 37 is the edge of the casino. So basically these casinos, they actively manage risk, right? They're sitting on a lot of risk. Banks sitting on a lot of risk. Insurance companies sitting on a lot of risk. So they actively manage risk by devising more and more non-traditional forms of insurance, and making uh, making the risk managed. So that is the role of an actuary. One of my known person does freelancing and makes sudokus as an actuary. So how is natural makes sudokus as an actuary? So such a way. Tanisha, see, sometimes, I also know an actuary. So she completed her fellowship long ago. She was appointed actuary also at few companies, but now she's into communications because she likes doing it. So it's not that, that is why I'm telling you, think in a very broad perspective. It's not that when you're completing a degree, so it's a very subjective thing what you want to do in life. So I'm actually, I'm teaching things, right? So my wife is a qualified actuary, she's teaching. So it all depends how, uh, like what you want to do. Right. So I like studying, I like teaching. That is why I'm in this profession. Someone likes to do Sudoku, someone likes to do play chess, someone wants to open a hedge fund, someone opens up a consulting firm, someone does not do anything. Someone is more inclined towards yoga. So I've also seen my one of my student who used to teach with us. He's a qualified actuary and now he is into yoga. So it all depends uh how you want to take this forward. How should a student balance the pursuit of actuarial fellowship with other credentials like CFA or FRM? And is it possible if someone definitely it's possible. So that is why we have an insurance program where uh, you actually spend a certain amount of money and whatever course you want to do in finance along with actuaries, you can do it absolutely free. So you can get in touch with our counselors, but definitely talking from knowledge perspective, all these courses are very linked up. You might see someone having 10 degrees or someone having 15 degrees, but it's all linked up. After some point of time, you get that edge, okay, and you start gaining multiple degrees. So it's just like that. So FRM is a subset of actuaries. So that is why we do FRM because it's all about risk management in the banking sector. So now there are risk-based norms coming up, risk-based capital coming up, and there is very active employment of actuaries in the banking sector. So that is why it will help. Uh, it will help you getting more and more better opportunities in work, right? If you're doing FRM and CFA along with actually, it's a very good thing. You can do it. Definitely, you need to have a very well planned structure for that. In which attempt to appear now, CFA scholarship is also open. So our team is helping all the students. If you're actually needy and you actually want to apply for scholarship, so our team is helping in that. Some of the times the students they come from very humble backgrounds, so institute is having lot of like scholarship opportunities, both actuators and the Indian Institute of Actuaries. So it's like that. What is the passing percentage of actuarial exams and are their exams difficult? So basically, in the current scenario, you can go ahead with IFOA or SOA. So if you're comfortable with mathematical typing, go with IFOA. If you're comfortable with MCQ format and you want instant results, so you can go with SOA. And also, uh, like passing percentage of IFOA and SOA is close to 40%. Indian Institute is also good, but it's a bit challenging, and the passing percentage is also a bit challenging. So it is very volatile. Like sometimes it might be 10%, sometimes it might be 80%. So it's a bit volatile. So that is why IFOA and SOA are the best global bodies. And when these membership bodies say they have a global recognition, it actually helps you to connect to people abroad as well. So SOA fees is currently less compared to IFOA. So in IFOA, the per exam fees is close to 36,000, and then you pay the tuition fees to actuators. But in SOA, the fees currently is close to 16,000, 17,000 per exam for the initial two exams. Then it is close to 18, 19,000 because SOA is currently running a global pilot program in India. So the fees is actually reduced by 40%. So you can take advantage of that, clear multiple exams, and then definitely the world is open to you. So what this degree of actuary can do to you, you cannot actually imagine. 5 years of hard work will give you 50 years of stable career. So definitely this tag is very important and it is very highly regarded in India as well as abroad. So yeah, I guess we covered a lot of questions today, and definitely you all can get in touch with the counselor. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, team, for arranging this webinar. Though I'm very passionate about training people more on the course of actuarial science, so I keep giving these webinars because it's very important for the people and the youth in India to know the power of actuarial sciences, right? So thank you so much. And then you can just go and watch in our YouTube. There are a lot of videos uploaded. And definitely I'm always there to help you in any professional course. Thank you. Thank you so much.